Let's go, let's go, let's go. Folks, very interesting live stream we have here for you. We're going to do a little bit of some information dropping today. If you enjoy the video, please consider hitting the like, share, and the subscribe button. It's your boy Kiwtb. There's a lot of interesting things going on in the world. We definitely got to discuss it. I've got some videos and we got some articles to go over. Definitely kick back and relax. And yeah, let me know what you folks think in the comment section below. If you want to see what else we're doing on any other platform, you can hit me up at Kicking It with Timmy B. And if you have a X or Twitter, or formerly known as Twitter, you can hit me up on there at Kiwtb Gaming. So real quick, we got a few videos here. We have breaking news: President Joe Biden is canceling his campaign, his 2024 campaign run for president of the United States. Breaking news. And now it is being said that he is endorsing Vice President Kamala Harris. Very interesting, very interesting. So we're going to go over that. Karine Jean-Pierre. We got a video of her just, I guess she's had enough of this job, I'm sure. Very interesting. Definitely get my reactions on that. We have a video of Van Jones. CNN Van Jones. His whole reaction to President Biden, I guess, suspending his campaign race, his 2024 campaign race. That's going to be interesting. Apparently, there's some kind of multi-millionaire named Sergio Pino. He is, I guess he's in Florida, or was in Florida. He's, I guess, passed away. They're like saying there's some kind of investigation going on. I want to pull up a video. I don't know if I still have it here. We'll have to go get that. I want to go check that out. That's out there in Florida. And then this CrowdStrike stuff, I guess with the outage, the tech outage that we just experienced. What was that, yesterday? And still experiencing as we speak today, July 21st, 2024. Yesterday was the 20th when all of this dropped, I'm pretty sure. Yes. And we have some closing thoughts for that. And then I'm thinking we go over some of the RNC and go check out presidential nominee for 47, DJT. They go see what he was speaking about at the RNC. Let you folks know what I thought about that, because we did watch it. We just didn't watch it on stream, unfortunately. I didn't have the time. We had the skedaddle, but we watched most of it. But definitely hearing some of my thoughts about that. We got a Bloomberg article talking about Donald Trump's speech. That should be very interesting. And just my thoughts on that. Project 2025 with the Young Turks. We got a video, and I think we have an article. I don't know. Is that CNN? I'm going to have to check that. Going over that, very interesting. I've been asked about that. I have my own thoughts on that. Yeah, and apparently the Young Turks have a very interesting video talking about Jeffrey Epstein documents being released. I have an article. I forgot who that is with. I have it here. I'm going to pull it up for that, talking about that, because I'm seeing this for the first time. Everything should be vetted pretty well. I think it's a Reuters, if I am to be correct. Anyway, but we'll go through that. If you folks enjoy any of that, I had to just go over that. I think that's the new way that we're going to do this here. I'm going to try to do these at least twice a week. But without further ado, I'm going to get into my intro here, and then we're going to go check out some of this breaking news right now. It's crazy, right? Thank you so much, everybody, for supporting your boy. I appreciate everybody so much. Drink water, stay healthy, and let's go.
I tell her only partly, I only love my bed and my mom, I'm sorry. 50 dub, I even got it tatted on me. 81, they'll bring the crashers to the party. And you know me, turn it on 2 into the 03.
I've seen you do a lot of things, and I'm glad that you I remember before you went on your path, before you really wanted to do this photography stuff. I can't remember, you were like in computer programming or something, and I remember me and you were just sitting here, and you were like, you liked it, but you were like, man, I'm like, it's not really something that I'm like super duper passionate about, and I'm like, damn, dude, so what would you like if you could go to school? Like if you could go to school for something you're passionate about, what would it be? And you're like, photography. I'm like, man, so like why aren't you doing that? You know what I mean? You were just like, well, I don't know. I never really thought about it. And it's just like just to see you just to dive into your passion straight up and like change your whole degree for it, because you know what I mean? Like it's almost like it's now you're something that you can see the end product, and it's more, you devoted your whole time to it because it is something that you care about. You know what I mean? So just to see you like in the military and then come out and just kind of like be on like kind of like the crossroads where you want to do something but you don't know if like people are going to be like, yo, why are you doing that? It's like, dude, man, who cares about what other people think? So like for me to see that growth in you, dude, is actually really dope. It's actually really dope because it's just like for the whole time it just seems like you could have been doing what you've been passionate about since day one. And you're like a bit worried about what other people think. And it's like, dude, like they're not there in the trenches with you, bro. Like it's just do what's going to make you happy, man.
Good evening, folks. 7:30 p.m. We have some breaking news here for you. It's very interesting times that we're in right now, folks. President Joe Biden says that he is suspending his candidacy in the 2024 presidential election. Can you believe this? So we're on President Joe Biden's Twitter page. And what do we have here? We have a picture of President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris. And what does the tweet say, Timmy B? It says, "My fellow Democrats, I have decided not to accept the nomination and to focus all my energies of my duties as president for the remainder of my term. My very first decision as the party nominee in 2020 was to pick Kamala Harris as my vice president. It's been the best decision I've made today. I've made. Now today, I want to offer my full support and endorsement for Kamala to be nominee of our party this year. Democrats, it's time to come together and beat Trump. Let's do this." Okay. It's got 83 million views. This is from Joe Biden himself. It's got like another. Okay, so it's the same one, right? I just gave to Kamala Harris. Very interesting. So now it's Biden Harris. Donate. Let's finish the job. And what do we have here? We have Matt Walsh. "You only served 4 years, but you can take solace in the fact that you made an enormous impact during this short time. Of course, the impact was totally disastrous, but it was enormous." That's crazy, dude. That's crazy. "Screw the 14 million primary voters who cast their ballots for you. Am I right? That's in wokeness. Patriots win. Democracy is on the ballot. Vote Trump." What is going on? Lives of TikTok goes, "Worst president in history. Unless Kamala wins, then you will only be second to worst. It is that why you're endorsing her." Tim Young. Who is Tim Young? Comedian. Let's get a picture of Trump. Okay. "Kamala Harris' entire campaign will be cackling about." Oh man, that's crazy. And then he says something else. Valentina Gomez, shout out to her, goes, "Bye Joe, Kamala is worse and a DEI hire. Also, her laugh is annoying." I don't even know. "Was the worst approval of any vice president in U.S. history. So naturally, Joe Biden endorses her." Oh, man, that's crazy. Dr. Jebra Fouché, Kamala for president. Who is with me? So Kamala, or Kamala for president. Okay. Who is with me? Says Jebra Fouché. The Biden ship is planet of memes. So it's the Democrats. It's a bunch of rats. And then here's a ship. And there's a U.S. president. It's USS Joe Biden. It's planet of memes. And it looks like the ship is kind of looking a little bit sketch there, huh? let's continue. We're gonna get to some credible stuff here. I just want to see what folks are saying. This is like breaking news. This is on Twitter. I just want to see what the temperature of the room is here, folks. Oversight. When did Kamala know about Joe's severe mental decline? And is she going to stop the weaponization of government against the left's political opponents? That's a very interesting question there by Oversight Project. Nothing says protecting democracy like prosecuting prosecuting your political opponents. Okay, removing opponents from the ballot, protecting your corrupt family and stonewalling investigations, denying primary challengers, ignoring Congress, using the government to lie to constituents. I don't care who does the electing as long as I get to do the nominating. Boss tweet, head of corrupt New York Democratic machine. I mean, folks, like, this is wild. Why is the CCP in here? Here, I found out the right analogy for most for what actually happened, just like the CCP. I don't know what's going on here. Well, it's Twitter, right? It's crazy. If you're not capable of running, you're not capable of being president. Trump's 5 million popular vote victory just turned into 8 million. So you capitulated to the Obama-led coup and ignored the will of your Democratic voters. May you live in interesting times, huh? Joe is doing what he thinks is right for America, just as he always has during his tenure as president of the United States. That's a clean picture. It's a clean picture. I'll admit that. He would rather throw himself under... oh my God. He would rather throw himself under the bus than allow someone like Trump to regain power. He's bowing for you and for me, for all of us. I respect him and I respect his decision. Biden did a great job as president. This actually proves, okay, that isn't, okay. This actually proves what a great president Biden truly is. Respect. Nothing but respect. Okay. I'm not going to lie. I'm just going to like it for the clean picture that... Where did this man get this clean picture? Did AI make that? Regardless, folks. So that's a little bit, of like both sides, right? It's a little bit of both sides on that one, right? I figured that'd be a good one, right? Let's see here. Or is this the one here? Okay, so here's the deal. I mean, that's right from Joe Biden. I don't know how clear that has to be. Like, I would love to see what the mainstream media news outlets come up with tomorrow, and we'll tap in of what they actually have to say on their news articles, and we'll definitely tap in, folks. But that's clear as day. Joe Biden said that he's taken a step down, huh? I mean, it's crazy, right? Man, so he steps down, and Kamala Harris takes over. The war chest goes to her. And who does she pick for her VP? And it looks like Mr. Shapiro, the governor of Pennsylvania, is trending right now. I'm pretty sure him and Mark Kelly, which is their governor of Arizona, Bashir. I'm not aware of who this individual is, but to my understanding is that she's going to be looking for a VP, and it would behoove of her, right? It would behoove of her, to my knowledge, for her to pick a group of individuals that can give her some states that she wouldn't be able to normally acquire on her own. So she would need to acquire through a VP. That is to my understanding of that terminology. That's how Donald Trump picked his VP, is what they're saying, because JD Vance is somehow he's from Ohio, so that gets some of those Ohio voters, and they say it's like a guarantee, right? But you can look this stuff up. Regardless, Kamala Harris, she picks Governor Shapiro. That means that gives her Pennsylvania. That's like almost a win, right? They say that any president that wins Pennsylvania is like a guarantee. I don't know the specifics. I could go look this up. I'm not going to do that at this moment, but this is just off the top of the dome of what we're just putting together here of the information that's being out there, that's being put out there, is that Governor Shapiro has Pennsylvania, and if she acquires him as a VP, that's almost like a guarantee win, or that's more of a threat, or more of a challenge, not a threat. Let's gotta watch what we say here, folks. We gotta watch what we say here. It's a friendly show here. More of a challenge, right, at the polls of acquiring different states, right, and acquiring different voters. Regardless, Mr. Shapiro here seems to be trending, and he may be a VP pick, folks. That's what I'm saying. That's what I gotta say about that. Mark Kelly seems to be an option, because getting Arizona would be a win as well, because it seems like Arizona is very what is it, conservative, but it's like blue, it's purple, because there's a lot of, how they say, Democratic voters that have moved there, moved to Arizona, and Arizona being a more conservative or Republican state, whatever, right? Her acquiring Arizona would be pretty legit for her. It would be beneficial for her success and the polls, folks. That's what I'm trying to say here. So, very interesting. I'm going to keep you folks updated. I don't know for sure, but obviously I'm like, once again, I'm going to look at this here. You see it's trending. So, we'll end this segment on just tapping, and we'll literally just click that, and then we'll see what we get here. Josh Dunlap, Kamala's four most likely choices for VP. This is on Twitter, by the way, or formerly known as Twitter, now it's known as X. Kanye speaks on how new Ben Shapiro controlled Candace Owens' voice. Let's stay on topic here. Jake Tapper, Josh Shapiro, Senator Joe Manchin calls for an open process for Democrats to choose a new nominee in an interview with Jake Tapper. I have got two tremendous governors right next door to me, and Andy Beshear in Kentucky. Okay, that's who that is. And Josh Shapiro in Pennsylvania. So let's go play this clip here, folks, real quick. Let's see what they have to say.
How would that be done, do you think?
I'm very hopefully, Jake, that it would be done in an open process. I think that we have a lot of talent on the bench, a lot of good people, and I'm partial to governors because a governor can't afford to be partial. They can't afford to be partisan strictly, because that pothole or that bridge doesn't have a D or an R on it. I've got two tremendous governors right next door to me, and Andy Beshear in Kentucky and Josh Shapiro in Pennsylvania, who are operating with legislatures either evenly split or completely opposite of their party affiliation. They haven't divided their state. They haven't made you pick a side and demonize the other side. They've brought people together. This is what an open process would do, I think. It would bring more people out in a process that could bring Democrats like me back.
So obviously you're calling for President Biden to stop running for re-election.
I want him to be the president in the last 5 months of this presidency, of his term, to do what he can do is unite our country, to calm down the rhetoric, and be able to focus attention to peace in the world. Campaigning, I've been through statewide campaigns many times. It's an unbelievable challenge to anybody, physically, mentally, every way, shape, and form. And right now, the country and the world needs our president, Joe Biden, with the compassion he's always had and the ability to bring people together, to use all of his forces and energy towards that.
Senator Joe Manchin is calling like a State of the Union, or CNN's calling like a State of the Union. That's crazy. There's some wild stuff going on, folks. So, what's the next one we got here for you? Let's see. I don't know. Josh Shapiro. Let's see if he answers the call, right? Let's see if he answers the call, folks. Okay, so we got the next part of the stream here. We got the next part of the breaking news here. So we have, this is on Morning After Dark, but this is supposedly reporters grilling Karine Jean-Pierre to her face, and it's an end her career in epic rant. I want to know if this is true. I seen this earlier and I wanted to react to it. I was talking to a buddy of mine about how she's been under a lot of fire lately from the press, from the media, from these reporters. They're asking a lot of tough questions and she's not giving any of those tough questions answers. So, I mean, you hate to see it, right? Yeah, you hate to see it. Let's go check out what's going on here.
Yesterday, outside of 4 p.m. You saw the president land in North Carolina in the middle of the night at 2 o'clock. What was he doing? He was greeting supporters. Hundreds of supporters that showed up to cheer him on after the debate. You saw him speaking at 9 o'clock or at night in New York in front of supporters. So he's been pretty much out there after the hours of 4 p.m. and before 10 a.m. for sure. And so that has been something he has consistently done over the past couple of days, for sure, for certain.
Have an afternoon nap every day.
Let me be very clear about this.
An afternoon nap every day. That lady said it. I didn't even say this. This lady said, I mean, it's important to get those naps in, right? But you're running the free world, my man. You're running the free world.
This is a president that wakes up every morning and puts the American people first.
Stop the cap. Stop the cap right now.
That's what he does. He does that every single day. That is his focus. I am not going to speak to sources out there, unnamed sources out there. That's not what I'm going to speak to. I'm going to speak to what I know, what this president does, and how he is committed to the work of the president, of the commander-in-chief. And his record clearly lays that out and speaks.
His record, okay. Whew. Just throwing out the record. Okay.
To it.
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
And that's what he's going to continue to do. The American people first, and delivering for them.
Can you also clarify Sungmin's question?
Sure.
I mean, how is it that the president was still tired 12 days after returning from Europe, had a cold, but then went to the Waffle House, and then the following day staged such a huge comeback that he gave those North Carolina remarks? Like, help us understand.
Have you had a
There's a video of President Joe Biden at the local Waffle House. I forgot where this was at. I don't feel like looking it up. Please look that up if you want to actually see it. But I'm just stating what this lady I'm is referencing. I'm bringing up what she just brought up. There's a video of him just shaking people's hands. He's over people's tables and stuff like that, talking to people, and it's like, bro, if you have COVID or if you're sick, man, why are you in front of people? Like, dude, that's nasty. That's not right, man. And that, like, for his sake, for his health's sake, should be like, bro, you should not be doing that. You should be like taking care of yourself, man. You're an elderly person. I get that you're a president and stuff. You need to be out talking to people, but if you are sick or not feeling well, dude, you do not need to be over people's table, man. While they're trying to eat in a Waffle House. That's like questionable and like how well they whatever. Yeah. Regardless, this is what this lady is bringing up. It's just wild, yo.
Cold before?
Of course it happened.
Okay, so you probably well, come on, Jackie. Let's be very. Let's be.
12 days after you were.
Come on, Jackie. Come on with these Waffle House questions, Jackie. Come on.
But
And
you also
jet lag yesterday.
hold on a second.
It's about to go down.
There's a cold. There's a jet lag. You combine that. He continues to work on for the American people, day in and day out, around the clock. Things happen.
What?
What the hell is that?
Things happen. And the cold thing is something that you all pointed out during his debate. We didn't even point that out. You all pointed out when you heard his voice being hoarse, because he knew he had to push through. He knew he has to power through.
See, man, that's tough. Come on, that's tough. That's tough, man. It just makes me personally, just makes me feel bad for the guy. Like, I just feel bad for the guy in general. It's like, come on, dude. But it's like, there's like so many homeless people out of the street, man. There's people suffering right now. Like, it's like, how can I feel bad for this guy? Like, what is going on here? I don't know. What is going on? It's crazy, bro. It's crazy.
That's what presidents do. If you care about this country and you don't care about yourself, you care about the American people, you care about delivering for this country, you care about how you're going to continue to work every day in and day out, you push through.
Shut up, bro.
We've all do that.
Because all these Democrats
We've
who are
all
saying
do
they want
that.
to see him,
But
it
okay,
speaks to that.
But we didn't share that information ahead of time. You all asked what was going on, and then we shared that information. We didn't use that before the debate. You all asked, hey, is he under the weather? And we confirmed that he was under the weather. He pushed through. That's what this president does.
He
He's going
pushed
to continue
through
to fight
Oh,
for the American
man.
people.
What a guy. He gets sick and he goes, you know what? We got a country to run.
So he pushed through it. I think anybody who does that, not just the president, should be commended. And he also said, you heard him say this on Friday, when you get knocked down, you get back up. That's what you saw.
My guy President Joe Biden, though, man, he gets knocked down. He falls, man. He falls and he gets back up. Everybody falls. I fall too. You know what I mean? I make mistakes and I try to do better and I learn from those mistakes. I get that. Man, the guy literally falls, though. Like, this lady, this lady writes this stuff. Who's writing this? Who's writing this lady's stuff right now? Like,
any discussion that if the president were to suspend his campaign, that he would also resign? Are there any discussions about
absolutely
the vice
not.
president assuming his duties?
Absolutely not. Go ahead, Kelly.
Does the president have a duty to review data, like polling information that's coming in, donor information, the fears and concerns or anxieties expressed by Democrats? Does he have a duty to review what's happening now?
When you say a duty, can you say more about the duty
You're saying
piece?
that he's absolutely running.
Yeah.
I like how they keep throwing speed in here. It's crazy. Look, I want to know too, because didn't we watch the interview with Jake Tapper? It was Jake Tapper sitting down. Yeah, that was Jake Tapper. We literally did the reaction. There was a reaction that we did with Jake Tapper. You can see it on my YouTube channel at Kicking It with MEB. Jake Tapper is talking to Joe Biden, and Joe Biden, Jake Tapper asks him, and he goes, "Hey, are you aware of these polls here, like that shows that like you're losing, bro? Like and he goes, no, those polls are wrong. Do you believe those polls?" And then Jake Tapper goes, "Yeah, I get what you're saying. I don't really believe them, but," and then what does he say? It makes me want to bring up the video. Jake Tapper, the whole point of this is Jake Tapper said, "Hey man, are you aware of the polls that are out right now that are saying that you're losing, man? Like who is giving you, what are your polls say?" He goes, "Oh well, my people are saying that I'm gonna win. I'm in it to win." But it's like, dude, there's like Nancy Pelosi and all these people. There's like all these house reps and senators are like, dude, I think it's time.
Well, he's saying that, and I'm sharing with you his view.
And we would invite the president to come here and tell us that directly.
Noted, Kelly.
But he's awake. That's inappropriate.
As you heard from your colleague, the president of the WHCA, that's inappropriate. Thank you, Kelly.
Look, I think I've seen enough. I don't know about you folks. I don't know. I'm going to put all these links in the description here at the end of this video for all of this content, so you can go check that out here, folks. But I think I've seen enough of this lady. Let me know what you folks think in the comment section below. Let me know what you think of this lady and what she got to say, because it's, man, she gets grilled like on the daily for these questions, and it's like, we're just waiting for these these answers, and at some point, if you're not able to get those answers, we need somebody else that's going to go get us those answers, folks. I don't know, but you know what, it gets even better here, folks. It gets even better. We got another one here. Let's get this here. Dun, 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 dun. Here we go. Oh man. So here we go. We got CNN very own Van Jones. Oh, I was waiting for this one. Shout out to Van Jones. Apparently Van Jones has quite the interesting take on all of these events that are partaken today. President Joe Biden is announcing that he's dropping out of the race, and he is endorsing Kamala Harris to be the nominee. This is CNN Newsroom, folks. Let me know what you folks think in the comment section below. Hit the like, share, and the subscribe button. I hope everyone is getting informed. I hope everyone is staying entertained with this. I hope everyone is having a good one. Make sure you're drinking water. We're going to go take a sip here. For my dog, President Joe Biden. He is announcing that he's dropping out of the race this Sunday evening, July 21st, 2024. Gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, what a historic day that we or living through. Let's go see what the folks at CNN have to say.
President Biden and Vice President Harris. I want to go back to CNN's Priscilla Alvarez, who is covering all of this from Rehoboth Beach, Delaware. Priscilla, what are you learning?
Caitlin, I'm told by a source that President Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris spoke today. It's unclear exactly at what time they spoke. Remember, the president put out his letter publicly that he would not seek re-election earlier this afternoon. But the president made clear after that letter that he was putting all of his support behind Vice President Kamala Harris to be the Democratic nominee, and also calling on the party to come together. Now, the vice president was on the trail yesterday. She was at a fundraiser in Massachusetts, where again she was defending the administration's record and also trying to underscore the stakes of the election. It was a fundraiser that brought in more than $2 million. Today, however, she was back in Washington, D.C. at her residence and with her staff. So this latest reporting is that the president and the vice president have spoken. That, according to a source who I spoke with, we're still trying to get more information as to what that conversation looked like and when exactly it happened. But significant all the same.
Yeah, of course, and also fascinating to learn about these conversations that he was having. Obviously, you expect him to speak with the vice president about this. Priscilla, keep us updated on what you're learning about this. We also have Van Jones joining us. He is CNN's senior political commentator and a former Obama administration official. And Van, obviously, you and I were talking a lot about this dynamic and how this was ultimately going to play out when we were covering the Republican convention in Milwaukee last week. And with this news, this entire campaign has just upended itself.
Wow. Let it begin. We got Van Jones here. Let's see what he has to say.
Yeah, there's a lot of political stuff. The Democratic Party is a family. At the end of the day, this is a family matter. You know, Joe Biden's body may not be as strong as it used to be. His language skills may not be as sharp as they used to be. His heart is as big as ever. His heart is as big and as true and as strong. And this is the difference between a politician and a leader. He made a selfless decision, and people are heartbroken. Even people who are pushing for this to happen. It's kind of like when your grandpa, you got to take the keys, and everybody, you got to take his keys, you got to take his keys, you got to, and he's fighting and he's fighting, and everybody's so frustrated. And then you finally get the keys back, and then you just cry. Because this is somebody that you love. This is somebody that you care about. This is somebody who was there for you. This is somebody you wouldn't be here without him. And you have to take something from him. Now, this is not, look, politics is politics. But this is a human moment for one of the great humans in America. This is a huge moment for him, for his family, for all of us who love him, for all of us who wanted him to get across the finish line. But if you're a young person watching this, this is leadership. This is patriotism. This is what it means to put the country first and put the party first and put the cause first. When your arm gets tired, you let somebody else finish pitching the game. That's what Joe Biden has done.
Wow. Crazy. This is very interesting words from Van Jones. Wow.
And he's done that for all of us. And so I just want to say, I don't know who's going to be the VP, the non-VP. I don't know anything about politics. I just know that I love this man. I care about this man. It was painful every day to sit up here and talk about him like he's just some problem for the party. Wait till we get to the convention. You're going to see people crying, standing, screaming, cheering. He may not get a chance to talk for 10 minutes. We finally get a chance to put our arm around this guy. He did the right thing for this country. He did the right thing for this party. All of us are going to be in this situation someday, and I hope that we take a moment to honor this man and to love this man. I love Joe Biden. I appreciate what he's done, and a lot of people are heartbroken today. Even if it's the right thing, it's still just horrible.
Wow. And he is definitely, he's right on one thing though. Everyone's going to get to this point, right? Everyone's going to grow old. I'm going to grow old. You're going to grow old. We're all going to grow old. We're going to get to that point. And that's what happens with time. Father time, right? You can't beat Father time. It always appears to get everyone, right? And everything. And when there's a time and a moment where you have to accept that, and you got to stand down or take a step back and just kick back, right? Kick back. President Joe Biden, just kick back, my guy. What is this? Come on, and just let it's someone else, not him, run this country, man, and just sit back, bruh. The sun is setting, my guy. Just kick back, go get your ice cream and kick back with Jill Biden. Kick back and hang out with Hunter Biden and the rest of your family and settle all that BS that y'all got going on that everyone's been attacking y'all for so long about, that I'm not going to mention in this video, but obviously y'all can do your own homework on that. And just kick back and just enjoy the rest of his life in peace, right?
Well, and Van, I mean, on that point, which is a great point that I think resonates with a lot of people, of the personal nature of a decision like this. We often talk about things in a harsh political lens of who's going to fare better, what this looks like. I mean, I also have to imagine what it's been like the last 3 weeks, a little over 3 weeks since that debate, to see, you know, what the reporting has been behind the scenes of Democrats who wanted him to get out. On Friday night, the reporting was that he was seething over, you know, seeing big allies of Pelosi come out and call on him to get out, even upset to a degree with his former running mate, President Obama. And just to see, you know, what he personally has witnessed and these calls from his longtime allies, people who certainly praise his legacy, but said, you know, it's time for this decision to be made.
But have we all gone through this with our own family members? Like, yeah, he's hurt, he's pissed. A lot of us wouldn't have careers. I wouldn't have a career without Joe Biden. Joe Biden picked me out of the puppy pile. He's the person that everybody says you work for Barack Obama. No, I worked for Joe Biden when I was in the administration.
Man, Van Jones is standing on business for Joe Biden. Very interesting, man. Somebody who's like, this guy is loyal. This guy's loyal here. I mean, I kid you not. All these people like just whoosh. Joe Biden, it's so sad, man, but it's like, what's happening here? What's happening? Why was this big flip? Why are we just or why are folks, I'm not just saying why are folks all now just figuring out that this guy should probably just be in an old folks home just hanging out? Go doing his thing, not running America, not running legislation and fighting or funding other proxy wars that America has no, need to be in. You know what I mean? It's just crazy, but it's wild, man. My guy, Van Jones, standing on business for President Joe Biden, while everyone, when the chips, everybody, it was supposed to be all in, and everyone was like, nope.
I was on his no-cost task force. All of us have known that embrace. All of us have gotten those phone calls and those cards when bad things have happened to us. So, that's a family. That's what it is. He's hurt now. He feels let down. He feels that his friends turned on him. In the fullness of time, he'll recognize that it was done out of love and as loving a way as possible. But at the end of the day, some people, and I don't want to mention any names and ruin this day, but some people will back their leader no matter what. Some people, they don't care how many people this man has hurt and how many laws he's broken, no matter how many bad things he's done, that's our leader, we're going to back him no matter what. But this party is not like that. This is not a cult. This is a political organization. And we believe in these principles. And if somebody is sick, if somebody can't do it, there's no shame in that. There's nothing wrong with that. If somebody can't do it, that's okay.
You know what's crazy about him saying this is why is he running the country right now if the guy can't run for 2024?
And what you see with Joe Biden, everything was falling apart around him, but he could have stuck it out. There were people in this party who wanted him to stick it out. There are people in this party right now who are mad that he didn't stick it out. Don't act like it was all on one side. It wasn't about the donors. It was about, could this man hold together all of us anymore? And when he realized he couldn't, he did the right thing and he passed the baton. That is leadership. Pelosi did the same thing with Hakeem Jeffries. That's leadership. That's responsibility. That's what America's supposed to be about. I love Joe Biden. You have people on both sides of the fight in the party who are crying right now, who can't believe it right now. This is not a normal time, y'all. This isn't just politics. This is a moment in time to honor someone who for 50 years put this country first and sacrificed and sacrificed and sacrificed and sacrificed and sacrificed. And today, he's sacrificed again. That's Joe Biden. I love Joe Biden. This country should get around Joe Biden and help our president through these last few months.
Jamal Simmons, you worked in that administration as well.
I will give him I will give him credit. President Joe Biden, he spent a lot of time in politics. He's had 50 years, huh? He served 50 years to the United States political system. Now, whether that was serving him or serving the people that's up for debate. That's how I see it over here. But I mean, by all means, I got to give the guy credit. He put in that 50 years. I haven't done no 50 years. Have you done 50 years? I haven't done no 50 years for the United States of America. So I give him props on that. But I mean, oh man, got to give him props, right, on that. But it's so sad. This guy, he is in the fields. He's in the fields right now.
I wonder what you make of how Van just laid out what a personal decision this was for President Biden to make after facing these calls for 3 weeks now, sustained calls from his own party. And obviously, you worked with him, you worked with Vice President Harris. I wonder what you make of that.
Yeah, listen, as I started out, it's a very sad day. I have heard both Van's sentiments and feel them, right? I mean, there's nothing I found after the assassination attempt last Saturday, when Joe Biden went on television to tell us what was happening. I know people had different feelings. I felt a little easier about it, right? Knowing that Joe Biden was in charge, because here's somebody who was going to be willing to put the American public first and not just his own political needs, not just do what he thought was best for him. And listen, we can try to make this not about politics, and Van, I'm with you. This is a day for Joe Biden. But on the other side of this coin is a guy who is the antithesis of Joe Biden, right? Who's completely about Donald Trump, completely about putting himself first. So I think as we think about President Biden, all of us who know him and those of us who worked for him, like Van, really feel an incredible sense of loss. At the same time, this is going to help the Democratic Party finish Joe Biden's job, which is the point of what it was he was running for, which is to keep Donald Trump out of the office and to make America a better place that includes more people and has more opportunity for people. And I think that Kamala Harris is going to do a good job doing that. Let me just say this about her. I worked with her every single day. I met with her every single day. I talked to her on the phone just about every single day when I was there. This is a woman who has great public values. She knows what she's in the game fighting for. She's fighting for people who are being left behind, people who are being left out. She's been a prosecutor her whole life. I think that she is uniquely built for a moment. We've got a candidate who's got 34, felony convictions to go out and prosecute him every day. She's somebody who I think has an incredible ability to go out and inspire people and to get them excited about her. I remember seeing little girls. One of the reasons I went to work for the vice president was because I have a daughter. And I remember thinking that I wanted my daughter to have the same kind of model for her life that my son has when he thinks about Barack Obama. And I remember seeing little girls grab her by the hand and look at her like she's Superwoman, like she's Wonder Woman. I remember seeing older women who many of them didn't agree with her politically. They grab her by the hand and they have tears in their eyes.
Kamala Harris, she's like Wonder Woman. That, like, Kamala Harris and Wonder Woman, I never thought to put those two in the same sentence. That's two words. Oh man.
And they'd say, I never thought I'd see the day that a woman would serve in the White House. Those are the kinds of cases that I think as we go forward in this, what will become the next political campaign, I think we will see the kind of energy that and emotion that we're talking about today. We'll see those out of a lot of Americans.
Well, look, folks, that's something else, man. I can't even lie. That, like, the homie Van Jones, like, had me in the feels. This dude should be an actor, man. He should be an actor. He had me in the feels. Like, I don't even, like, wow. That's
And if somebody is
this guy, he should be an actor. I feel him though. I mean, for somebody that helped put him on, I can see why. I could see why President Biden is like such an influential figure to him, and he's such a I wouldn't say a godlike figure, but he's like, man, he's like the man. I get it, because he helped put him on and stuff like that. That's an incredible thing. He gave him an opportunity. I would assume to be on TV and to do what he's doing right now. So when he was working for him when he was a vice president, I get it, man, but it's like, dog, you got to put all that emotion aside, look at what's going on with the country. Like, come on, man. Like, and he even said it, these are like, wow, man. Like, this guy, he's like he's taken aback. He's taken aback. Oh, you can like hear it in his voice and everything. It's incredible stuff that's going on here. The folks that are a part of the Biden administration, the folks that are influenced by President Joe Biden, man, they are in shambles today. Shout out to them. Hopefully they can get themselves together and get back on track and get somebody like, I don't know. It's interesting. The DNC is going to be up here real soon. We're definitely going to be tapped in for that, for all of that. We're going to be doing a live stream for the DNC. If you enjoyed this video, please consider hitting the like, share, and the subscribe button. We checked out CNN's Van Jones. You heard my thoughts, and you heard that breaking news. President Joe Biden is stepping out. He's dropping out of the 2024 election. It's sad to hear. It's sad. You hate to hear it, right? But I mean, hey, we got to get some other people in there that want to do some better things for America. So we'll leave it at that. I'll see you on the next one. Yeah. So anyway, that is for that segment. We got to look up the Sergio Pines. That's something that we got to do on the fly here, folks. Was it Sergio? We had the video up. Let me see. Let me see if we have it. There it is. South Florida. It's NBC 6. I'm going to check this out here. We got some articles to go check
Building
out.
and commercial development empire in South Florida is dead, dying by suicide this morning as FBI agents investigating a murder-for-hire plot were trying to take him into custody.
Sergio Pino had been accused in his divorce case of trying to harm and intimidate his wife of 32 years. And the FBI was moving in when he ended it inside his Coral Gables home. That's what we find ABC6 reporter Tony Pipitone. He's live at Coco Plum in Coral Gables with more for us this evening. Tony.
Yeah, Jawan, for 2 years, allegations of arson, stalking, and poisoning marred the divorce case of Sergio and Tatiana Pino. But after what her attorney alleged in court papers today was an attempt to murder her last month, the FBI says this case became a murder for hire.
Yeah, I heard this guy tried to, or it should be in the text here. He tried to, in the description for this video, he tried to like poison his wife or something. It's crazy.
And today, the man at the center of it was found in his house back there, dead with a self-inflicted gunshot. With their shares of Century Home Builders Group and related entities, Sergio and Tatiana Pino had amassed a fortune, according to court records, a net worth in 2022 of between $150 million and $360 million. How much of that belonged to Tatiana was at the center of a dispute that Tatiana's lawyer told us last week got ugly.
My client feels very strongly that he has been trying to poison her for 2 years before that.
Sergio Pino's attorney told us there was no objective evidence of poisoning, nor, she said, was Sergio responsible for the torching of 3 cars outside Tatiana's sister's house. 4 men, including one Tatiana told the FBI worked on the Pino's yacht, are in jail, charged with a conspiracy to stalk her and set those cars afire. They've pleaded not guilty. Today, at this house in Cutler Bay, a 5th man arrested by the FBI in its murder-for-hire investigation as Tatiana's divorce court filing lodged the most serious allegation of all: a gunman attempting to murder her last month outside her Pinecrest home. The same home where last August, the FBI alleges a man tried to plow a truck into her car after she returned from a divorce court hearing. Tatiana's attorney wrote that Sergio's incentive to have...
Yo, that's crazy. You see that? Yo, that's crazy, bro. What are you doing? It's like, what? Dog, I mean, what? You gotta immediately get out and like, yo, what are you doing? Like, I have to, like, what? You can call police. If you have a weapon, like, do you, like, what? That's crazy.
Have her killed is simply their fortune. He would get it all if she died before the divorce was final.
Right.
She and Sergio were due in court this week for a key hearing in the divorce, but Sergio got a delay in the case after telling the judge he was overwhelmed and distraught by the investigation into him. Today, with his suicide, an indication of how distraught he may have been. Now, in a statement from Sergio Pina's divorce attorney we just received, she says there is nothing to indicate that he ever harmed or wanted to harm his wife. And she adds, the combination of unnecessarily destructive divorce litigation, along with what she calls selective and salacious media coverage, was humiliating to him and led to this tragedy. Now, we may find out more about what led to this tragedy as those 5 men who are charged proceed through the federal criminal justice system. One of those men worked on Sergio Pino's yacht and said that he was recruited by someone not named in court papers to bring the others in to commit the crimes against Tatiana Pino and her family. Reporting live in Coral Gables, Tony Pipitone, NBC6 News.
Wow. So we'll see what's up with
Well,
that.
the twisted tale of Sergio Pino.
Yeah, that seemed like the most breaking news beyond that. Stuff with President Joe Biden. I was gonna go check out his speech to America after the attempt on Donald Trump's life, but I don't know. I think we'll save that for the end. I want to look at this article here. Let's look at this article. So we got Reuters here. Hopefully you could see this. Let's see if you can see it. Boom. So CrowdStrike are actually, you know what? We'll just do it. Yeah, so there was some kind of global outage yesterday. And it seems to be a CrowdStrike update. So I wanted to look into this. We had this article with Reuters. We also have a video that we're going to play here after we go check out this article. But anyway, let me know what you folks think in the comment section below. Hit the like, share, and the subscribe button. I appreciate everybody for being here for this live stream and for this segment. So let's get into it. So we have CrowdStrike update. Caused global outage, likely skipped checks, experts say. So in San Francisco, July 19th, we got Reuters. This is by Ziba Sadiqua. Or Sadiqui. A security expert said CrowdStrike's CrowdO routine update and its widely used cybersecurity update, which caused clients' computer systems to crash globally on Friday, apparently did not undergo adequate quality checks before it was deployed. And the latest version of its Falcon sensor software was meant to make CrowdStrike client systems more secure. So against hacking, by updating the threats it defends against. Okay. So it's It's a latest version. It's a software of this Falcon sensor, okay? But faulty code in the update files resulted in one of the most widespread tech outages in recent years for companies using Microsoft's Windows operating system. Okay. Global banks, airlines, hospitals, government offices were disrupted. So CrowdStrike released information to fix affected systems, but experts said getting them back online would take time as it required manually weeding out the flawed code. So what it looks like is potentially the vetting of a sandboxing they do when they look at code. Maybe somehow this file was not included in that or slipped through, said Steve Cobb, Chief Security Officer at Security Scorecard, which also had some systems impacted by the issue. So the problems came to light quickly after the update was rolled out on Friday, and users posted pictures on social media of computers with blue screens displaying error messages. At that point, I wasn't even on my computer. I think we were working or something like that. So I didn't like physically see this stuff, but you could see people posting it. They were posting the blue screen of that thing. I did see that. Patrick Wordle, a security researcher who specializes in studying threats against operating systems, said his analysis identified the code responsible for the outage. The updates problems was in a file that contains either configuration, information, or signatures. He said such signatures are code that detects specific types of malicious code of malware. Okay. And it's a Cancun International. Like, that's crazy. Yeah. That's crazy. That there's like all these people just stuck in the airport. I'm glad that I wasn't traveling. And this is like right after the RNC, the Republican convention or whatever. So, I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on anyway. It's the summer and stuff like that. There's a lot of stuff going on. So it puts a lot of people's plans and stuff. It holds a lot of people back. And then it's talking about how global banks and these airlines on top of hospitals, like that's crazy. Like people need to get their information through the computers and stuff like that. These computers need to operate to make sure all that like expensive equipment is keeping people alive and all that other good jazz. So that's like scary that all this stuff is like, it seems to be affected by this software update with some faulty code, right? Okay. It's very common that security products update their signatures like once a day because they're continually monitoring for new malware, and because they want to make sure that their customers are protected from the latest threats. Okay. He said a frequency of updates is probably the reason why CrowdStrike didn't test it as much. He said it's unclear that the faulty code got into the update and why it wasn't detected before being released in customers. So ideally, this would have been rolled out to a limited pool first, said John Hammond, principal security researcher at Huntress Labs. That is a safer approach to avoid a big mess like this. So what? The alternative to like fit or the fix for this is what? To ideally, this would have been rolled out to a limited pool. Oh yeah, just pushing out to like a small group of people first, just test it and then push it out. I mean, like, yeah, that makes sense. You know, I don't know about coding and all this other stuff, but like, I mean, that totally makes sense. It just, maybe that should have been done though. Maybe it should have been done though, right? Technology, it's crazy. Anyway, so other security companies have had similar episodes in the past. McAfee's buggy antivirus update in 2010 stalled hundreds of thousands of computers. Interesting. But the global impact of this outage reflects CrowdStrike's dominance. over half of Fortune 500 companies and many government bodies, such as the top U.S. cybersecurity agency itself, the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, use the company's software. That's insane. That's insane, folks. That all of our cybersecurity, I wouldn't say all of it, but these three pivotal cybersecurity agencies are using the CrowdStrike software, running on faulty code and messing things up. That's my dumbed down version of what we have here, folks. That's very scary. It's very scary. Shout out to the folks that have been affected by that. I hope you guys get the help that you need. I hope no one was like really, really, really life-threatening issues affected by it. Because I've heard outside of the article that we just read there that this was affecting like 911 phone calls. Like that's kind of dangerous, folks. That's kind of dangerous. Anyway, we got CNN here. Once again, CNN. It's not Fox News or anybody like that. We're just going to pull up CNN and see what they have to say about the global tech outage that hits airlines and businesses yesterday. Shout out to CNN. Breaking news.
Breaking news this morning. This is a live look at the airport in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. There might be some reporters and Politico types in there. They're trying to get out of Milwaukee, but right now Milwaukee is just like almost every other airport, on Earth right now. Airports all around the world, businesses, so many different institutions being affected right now by this IT outage, this major glitch. So a short time ago, we got a sense of what is causing this. The CEO of CrowdStrike, cybersecurity firm, says that a content update to its software triggered outages within Windows. And of course, Windows is the most widely used computer operating system in the world. CrowdStrike insists this is not a security incident or a cyber attack.
Not a cyber attack. It's not a cyber attack. Okay. That's what they're saying. That's what CrowdStrike is saying.
Bad. It is packing a wall of airports, airlines, businesses, stock exchanges, the metro in D.C. Anyone trying to get
I've been on the metro in D.C. How convenient, or how inconvenient for those folks, but how convenient that it hits all these very important places.
In these places overnight, they were seeing that blue screen of death on their monitors. So many are still experiencing issues.
You see those incredible pictures in the airport, people stuck, but there is a small fix that's happening. Just minutes ago, United says it is resuming some flights. American Airlines says it did safely reestablish operations as well, but that's not helping a whole lot of passengers right now. A slew of other airlines, major ones, Delta, American, still under a ground stop according to the FAA. And flyers overseas, as you just heard John allude to, experiencing much of the same matter.
Yeah, that's crazy. So let's go back real quick. Spirit, American, United, Delta, these are like the major ones. I've never flown Allegiant or Elegant, however that you pronounce that. Never flown Frontier that I know of. Flown Spirit, flown Delta, American, and United. That's crazy. These are like major, especially these three or these four, excuse me. Insane.
Just heard John allude to, experiencing much of the same madness. Just look at the packed airports. That's Greece, that's Madrid, that's Berlin, Lisbon. Travelers stuck in limbo. Take a listen to these folks stuck in Australia.
Well, we were heading home to Adelaide, and the last couple of hours just sort of hoping that, against hope, that the Jetstar gods would be kind, and yes, it turned out they are angry and they demand vengeance. So we will be staying in Sydney for a bit longer.
Being stuck at an airport's no fun, is it?
Yeah, it's no fun.
Oh, those poor families, poor kids out there, man. Those airport concession places are probably making a killing right now, boy. Making a killing if you can even get your money out, right? Like, that's crazy. That's crazy. That's why, like, you gotta have some cash on hand sometimes, right? You know what I mean? Just in case if something like this happens, you can go out to the store or do whatever you gotta do. You go buy gas because you got that cash, right? Got that cash.
We have team coverage around the globe right now. CNN's Tom Foreman in Washington, D.C., Isabel Rosales at the world's busiest airport, Atlanta's Hartsfield-Jackson International, and Anna Stewart in Heathrow Airport in the U.K. Let's get to Tom Foreman first. Tom, what the heck is happening with these systems?
I was just laughing. That Australian kid is all of us at the airport when this happens. Yeah, it's no fun. That's really what's happening. There's a lot of no fun going on. In simple terms, let's talk about what happened here. CrowdStrike, which is a cybersecurity firm which works with Microsoft, sent an update out. That update went out. It did not agree somehow with the Microsoft system, and that's what made these systems all over the world give you that blue screen, and that's what shut everything down. Microsoft and CrowdStrike now are saying they've made progress. CrowdStrike says it was a single content update, not a security incident or a cyber attack. They're saying it has been identified, isolated, and a fix deployed, and Microsoft is echoing that. So they're saying the underlying problem of all of this is now basically the solution is racing around the world to fix all these systems. But boy, has it affected a lot. Grocery stores and banks and metro systems in New York, Newark, LaGuardia, Kennedy, all those airports reporting some issues related to this. Look, my clock's going off because, no, it's just an alarm because I would normally be waking up at this time. But the truth is, what's happening is so many people around the world are finding their days disrupted in this fashion. And it's not going to easily settle simply because even if this fix were everywhere right now, and they're trying to get it everywhere right now, these things have been baked into the system now. So 911 systems, hospitals, all sorts of things. If you're doing anything that might be touched by Microsoft today, you need to be checking to see if it's going to be happening the way you thought.
Look, I got a lot of questions. First among them, how is it that Tom Foreman gets to wake up at 7:05 most mornings?
Agreed.
We're going to leave that aside for a moment. That's minor compared to what the tens of thousands of people are dealing with.
I'll call you at midnight, my friend.
People are dealing with a lot at the airports right now. I want to get to Atlanta right now. Isabel Rosales is there. I think that looks ugly even by Atlanta standards behind you. What should people expect?
John, good morning to you. Listen, you expect to have busy, long lines at the world's busiest airport, but I haven't seen anything quite like this. Every single carrier, JetBlue, Spirit, Delta, all of these, this is all that you see, just lines and lines, people wrapped around trying to get information, trying to check in, and hoping and praying that they're going to be able to make their flights. We've seen some of the screens displaying the information with that blue screen of death, as you guys called it, with this outage. We've seen lines of people in wheelchairs up against the wall just trying to get more information, figure out what is going on, and just these huge, huge lines. The manpower here, clearly these carriers were not expecting this to happen. We're seeing one or two people trying to manage these crowds, trying to get them moved out of here. I have a passenger right over here. Jennifer, tell me when you knew something had gone wrong.
I really wasn't getting much information. Yesterday, my flight was changed about 3 different times, and I really didn't have any answers.
Yeah, you found out by Googling that there was an outage, and we've seen people actually manually being checked in by licenses. What have you seen?
Everybody really calm here, to be very honest with you. Everybody's trying the best they can, but it's just been, I didn't get really any answers till this morning, and I've been here since 6:30 yesterday evening.
Jennifer, we're out of time here. Thank you so much. But clearly a lot of confusion, people trying to get answers, and a lot of headaches ahead, guys.
All right, thank you, Isabel. I'm itching just watching that. It is so upsetting. Anna, you are in the UK, you're in London. That airport tends to be chaotic just in general, like the Atlanta airport. What's the situation there?
It really doesn't matter where you woke up this morning in the world. It feels like this single point of failure is going to impact so many people all across the world and in different sectors. Of course, today is one of the busiest days of travel, particularly here in the UK and in Europe, where schools are broken up. People are heading on their holidays, and there is serious disruption. At Heathrow, just select systems are currently impacted, but this airport was telling passengers, obviously, contact your airline before you start heading to the airport. Just make sure that your flight hasn't been cancelled or delayed. Bigger impacts actually at Gatwick, at Stansted, other airports just outside of London, also Edinburgh, and right across Europe, Sarah. I mean, Amsterdam Schiphol, which is one of the other world's busiest airports, is perhaps feeling the most impact today. KLM, the airline, is saying that the outages are making flight handling impossible. So just imagine for all those poor people trying to get on holiday, surely going to be huge delays trying to reroute all of those flights. And then right beyond the airlines and the travel, and I think this is where most people will feel this sort of disruption, but there are also issues for healthcare services. Here in the UK, GPs are struggling to be able to book appointments or send prescriptions. There are issues with the London Stock Exchange website. There are telecoms issues. This is going to be really broad disruption through the day.
CNN's transportation analyst, Mary Schiavo, joins me live now. She is the former Inspector General of the U.S. Department of Transportation as well, and can help us understand the impacts here. Mary, this seems like a very remarkable event. How often does something like this happen? And what can people expect in terms of trying to get back, when things are going to get back up and running in a normal way?
Well, in terms of how often this happens, unfortunately, the answer is rather vague, but important more. We have seen various outages with different systems. If you recall, last year we had a number of outages concerning air traffic control and the ability literally to control and separate the aircraft. This is different, that it includes data and transmissions, on the cloud and cloud storage systems and connectivity and communications. So that affects all the scheduling, the timing, the crew scheduling, getting the planes up and out. So it's a little different than what we've seen sometimes in the past, but this is a massive outage, and obviously it's software that affects other companies. Getting back to normal, well, for aviation, if you have a hiccup in the morning, by the afternoon, you're in total meltdown. So it won't be back to normal today, but the good news is the company has said, the software company says they have rolled out a fix. So, by tomorrow, things should be normal.
So, Mary, I'm gonna ask you a selfish question, but I guess it's on behalf of the thousands of other people that are starting to wake up in their hotel rooms here in Milwaukee, trying to get out of the Republican National Convention. If you had a flight booked this morning on one of these airlines between, now and noon, what would you do?
I'd be on the computer trying to find if it's really going to go. I'd be looking up a backup solution. I'd be booking something else as a backup. And of course now, a lot of airlines now, especially newer airlines, allow cancellations even up to the last minute. So people can find a backup. But it looks like for several airlines in the U.S. and elsewhere, other places in the world, operations won't be back to normal until they apply this computer fix that they know what they have to do, but it hasn't been applied at all the airlines yet.
All right, Mary Schiavo, thanks for scrambling to get on with us this morning as we cover this briefing news.
Folks, I'm going to look more into this. I have my own thoughts on it, but I cannot share that until we get a little bit more information. I will say that I was experiencing some kind of some outages in my area where I'm at. I was experiencing a lot of internet outages all weekend, all weekend. Today is July 21st, 2024. We are experiencing outages all week, and I was like, what the heck is going on? It was crazy. Last weekend we experienced a bunch of outages. This weekend we did not. Leading up to this outages, it was definitely so weird. I think it was either the outages happened Friday, which was the 20th, so I was experiencing those outages last weekend. Let's see what that was. That was the 14th. Okay. We were getting issues over the weekend, all leading up to the outages. Very interesting. So I don't know what's going on with that. I'm not trying to insinuate anything. I'm just saying, like, there's just been a lot of issues with, I guess, my internet service provider or like our internet service providers. All kinds of stuff has been going on. So I want to do some more research, and we'll definitely tap back in and see what happens from here. And once everything gets back up online, we'll definitely be live for that, and we'll have some more information for you folks. If you enjoyed the video, please consider hitting the like, share, and the subscribe button. We went over some of this major tech issue stuff, or this global tech issue stuff, which it really didn't affect me, but it affected a lot of people, and it's still affecting people now. Shout out to those folks. Let's make sure that everyone gets home and, gets to where they need to go and get all the help that they need. You know what I mean? It's your boy Kiwtb. Yeah. All right. So, my thoughts on the RNC. We got the Bloomberg. We got like 3 more to go. All right, what up? Okay. Give me 1 second here, folks. I'm gonna get the rest of these cracking here. Okay. What do we have here? Okay, so RNC. Shout out to former President Donald Trump, presidential Republican nominee or candidate, or the nominee, the Republican nominee. Excuse me. Let me put some respect on it. But anyway, we're gonna go check out what he had to say at his speech here for the RNC. So let me restart that. That didn't make no sense. So welcome. It's your boy Kiwtb. I hope everyone's doing well. Today we got a special video here for you. We did a live stream of the RNC, and right before former President Donald Trump went on to do his speech, I had to leave, so I could not watch it with everybody and continue doing the live stream. So I want to go at least watch the beginning of this and then give you guys my conclusions or my reaction to all of this. We do have an article. I forgot who's the article with here. Let me see. We have a Bloomberg article talking about his RNC speech. It's very interesting. Let me know what you folks think in the comment section below. Hit the like, share, and the subscribe button. It's your boy Kiwtb. Let's go see what the Trumpster here has got to say. Shout out to Corey Compratore. R.I.P. man. Rest in peace. Shout out to his family making the ultimate sacrifice out there protecting his family. Man, it's crazy. July 13th, 2024, man. Rest in peace. I'm going to leave his GoFundMe in the description of this video as well. All right.
Thank you very much.
It sounds pretty lit to me. We got to see what's cracking with the DNC next month. We got to see how it's cracking at the DNC because it seemed pretty lit here. Let's go.
Thank you very, very much. Wow. And thank you, Dana. Thank you, Kid Rock, sometimes referred to as Bob. And thank you, Lee, right from the beginning. Thank you very much. What a talent. What a beautiful, beautiful soul. Thank you. Friends, delegates, and fellow citizens, I stand before you this evening with a message of confidence, strength, and hope. 4 months from now, we will have an incredible victory, and we will begin the 4 greatest years in the history of our country. Together, we will launch a new era of safety, prosperity, and freedom for citizens of every race, religion, color, and creed. The discord and division in our society must be healed. We must heal it quickly. As Americans, we are bound together by a single fate and a shared destiny. We rise together or we fall apart. I am running to be president for all of America, not half of America, because there is no victory in winning for half of America. So tonight, with faith and devotion, I proudly accept your nomination for President of the United States. Thank you.
Sounds pretty lit up in here, man. It's crazy. Let's go.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Dude, that guy is like crying. Did you see that? He had tears coming. He had tears coming. That's crazy.
And we will do it right. Going to do it right. Let me begin this evening by expressing my gratitude to the American people for your outpouring of love and support following the assassination attempt at my rally on Saturday. As you all
These are like grown ass men. These are grown men saying
already know, the assassin's bullet came within a quarter of an inch of taking my life. So many people have asked me, what happened? Tell us what happened, please. And therefore, I will tell you exactly what happened, and you'll never hear it from me a second time because it's actually too painful to tell. It was a warm, beautiful day in the early evening in Butler Township in the great Commonwealth of Pennsylvania.
Shout out to Pennsylvania.
Music was loudly playing, and the campaign was doing really well. I went to the stage, and the crowd was cheering wildly. Everybody was happy. I began speaking very strongly, powerfully, and happily, because I was discussing the great job my administration did on immigration at the southern border. We were very proud of it. Behind me and to the right was a large screen that was displaying a chart of border crossings under my leadership. The numbers were absolutely amazing. In order to see the chart, I started to, like this, turn to my right and was ready to begin a little bit further turn, which I'm very lucky I didn't do, when I heard a loud whizzing sound and felt something hit me really, really hard on my right ear. I said to myself, wow, what was that? It can only be a bullet. And moved my right hand to my ear, brought it down. My hand was covered with blood, just absolutely blood all over the place. I immediately knew it was very serious, that we were under attack, and in one movement proceeded to drop to the ground. Bullets were continuing to fly as very brave Secret Service agents rushed to the stage, and they really did. They rushed to the stage.
The Secret Service Director Kim Cheeto, however you pronounce this lady's name, I think what's being spoken is that she's talking about resigning. There's a lot of people calling for her resignation, but I think what's being said is that there may be a possibility that she may be resigning from the director position of the Secret Service, because that is insane. There's a zero fail policy, no matter male or female. You fail, you're out, and we get somebody else that can do a zero fail. You know, no one's perfect, but for these people, you gotta be, right?
These are great people at great risk, I will tell you, and pounced on top of me so that I would be protected. There was blood pouring everywhere, and yet, in a certain way, I felt very safe because I had God on my side. I felt that. The amazing thing is that prior to the shot, if I had not moved my head at that very last instant, the assassin's bullet would have perfectly hit its mark, and I would not be here tonight. We would not be together. The most incredible aspect of what took place on that terrible evening in the fading sun was actually seen later. In almost all cases, as you probably know, and when even a single bullet is fired, just a single bullet, and we had many bullets that were being fired, crowds run for the exits or stampede, but not in this case. It's very unusual.
Yeah, the folks were just, it seemed like they're just astonished at what was going on. I even quoted it in one of my videos. I'm like, going over, I was like, man, none of these people left. Like, if it was any other spot, they would have just scattered. Everyone would have dipped, but these folks stood there and stayed. Like, I guarantee some of these folks probably would have went out there and probably jumped on them too. Like, hey, yo, don't do it. Hey, yo, don't do it. Or they probably would have went and found, Crooks or whatever that dude's name is. And, it's crazy. Crazy. Non-violence. I want to do this non-violent. We're not about that here.
This massive crowd of tens of thousands of people stood by and didn't move an inch. In fact, many of them bravely but automatically stood up looking for where the sniper would be. They knew immediately it was a sniper. And then began pointing at him. You can see that if you look at the group behind me. That was just a small group compared to what was in front. Nobody ran, and by not stampeding, many lives were saved. But that isn't the reason that they didn't move. The reason is that they knew I was in very serious trouble. They saw it. They saw me go down. They saw the blood and thought, actually most did, that I was dead. They knew it was a shot to the head. They saw the blood. And there's an interesting statistic. The ears are the bloodiest part. If something happens with the ears, they bleed more than any other part of the body. For whatever reason, the doctors told me that. I said, why is there so much blood? He said, it's the ears. They bleed more. So we learned something, but they just, this beautiful crowd, they didn't want to leave me. They knew I was in trouble. They didn't want to leave me. And you can see that love written all over their faces. Incredible people. They're incredible people. Bullets were flying over us, yet I felt serene. But now the Secret Service agents were putting themselves in peril. They were in very dangerous territory. Bullets were flying right over them, missing them by a very small amount of inches. And then it all stopped. Our Secret Service sniper, from a much greater distance and with only one bullet used, took the assassin's life, took him out. I'm not supposed to be here tonight. Not supposed to be here. No. Thank you. But I'm not. And I'll tell you, I stand before you in this arena only by the grace of Almighty God. In watching the reports over the last few days, many people say it was a providential moment. Probably was. When I rose surrounded by Secret Service, the crowd was confused because they thought I was dead, and there was great, great sorrow. I could see that on their faces as I looked out. They didn't know I was looking out. They thought it was over. But I could see it, and I wanted to do something to let them know I was okay. I raised my right arm, looked at the thousands and thousands of people that were breathlessly waiting, and started shouting, "Fight, fight, fight." Thank you. Once my clenched fist went up, and it was high into the air. You've all seen that. The crowd realized I was okay and roared with pride for our country like no crowd I have ever heard before. Never heard anything like it. For the rest of my life, I will be grateful for the love shown by that giant audience of patriots that stood bravely on that fateful evening in Pennsylvania. Tragically, the shooter claimed the life of one of our fellow Americans, Corey Comparator. Unbelievable person, everybody tells me. Unbelievable. And seriously wounded, two other great warriors. Spoke to them today. David Dutch and James Copenhaver, two great people. I also spoke to all three families of these tremendous people. Our love and prayers are with them, and always will be. We're never going to forget them. They came for a great rally. They were serious Trumpsters, I want to tell you. They were serious Trumpsters, and still are. But Corey, unfortunately, we have to use the past tense. He was incredible. He was a highly respected former fire chief, respected by everybody. Was accompanied by his wife, Helen, incredible woman I spoke to today, devastated, and 2 precious daughters. He lost his life selflessly acting as a human shield to protect them from flying bullets. He went right over the top of them and was hit. What a fine man he was.
Shout out to Corey, man. It's crazy. Shout out to Corey. It's crazy. Folks, like, I don't want to watch the whole thing, but I wanted to get to that part here. Very interesting. I mean, what a guy, right? It's just like very interesting person here. I'll just leave it like that. I'm glad that he brought up those 3 individuals and he brought up Corey, because that was a big thing of him breaking that down. And he brought up the Secret Service and everything, and he gave them props. You know, the Secret Service are good people. They're willing to put their lives on the line, like for like a man or a woman, or you know, for these folks' family. Like they do great work. That day they did not do great work, but they usually do great work in protecting these families and protecting these folks. And you know, Donald Trump gave him props, even though like they dropped the ball. He still gave him props. Like, that's cool, man. That's cool. And he gave props to Corey. He talked about a bunch of other stuff, but really what it mattered to me was just him explaining his whole situation, or that whole shooting situation, and then him giving props to Corey. I mean, I've already heard enough of his speeches to know that, like, what he's about. You know, everybody has their own opinion or whatever of what he's about and blah, blah, blah. I already know, so, like, I don't need to watch the whole thing with you guys and, like, go over it. But, you know, definitely worth checking out if you're into it. If not, I get it. But if you want to hear that, I'll leave that that Fox News RNC live stream. That was the last day of the RNC. I'll leave that in the description below. Let me know what you folks think about that. So anyway, we have Bloomberg here talking about said speech that we just watched, right? It goes, Trump the Uniter couldn't last for one RNC speech. There was applause aplenty, but also 90 minutes replete with whispers, falsehoods, and non-sequiturs. Sequiturs. I don't know how to pronounce this. I don't know how to pronounce this word. Falsehoods and non-sequiturs. Sequiturs. This is by Timothy L. O'Brien. He's a senior executive editor at the Bloomberg Opinion. You got the picture of Donald Trump here at the RNC giving his speech. So Donald Trump has parlayed Joe Biden's debate debacle in his own bravura. Why is it okay? Show me this word. What is? Get out of here, duh. Get out of here. To a recent assassination attempt and to an invaluable political asset, momentum. The Republican National Convention in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, crackled over the last week with energy, enthusiasm, and confidence. Confidence momentum provides. It was all so heady that some of the Trump supporters and GOP strategists felt comfortable speculating that the former president might be reelected in a landslide that could also deliver both chambers of Congress into their hands. Such a difficult reading. So when the festivities drew to a closed Thursday night, the star of the show had an opportunity to deliver a keynote speech that would allow him to take a primetime victory lap in his opportunity to court independent and moderate voters alienated by the division Trump has stoked for nearly a decade. Unity was one of the GOP's watchwords for the week, especially after everything that happened, like with the assassination attempt and everything. And then, Joe Biden come out and saying, hey, we got to chill out, right? Even though he's talking about putting folks in the crosshairs, but whatever, right? Yeah, whatever. Anyway, unity and strategy. Okay, just making sure. Anyway, unity and strategy both fell by the wayside once Trump began orating. However, his speech was somnambulant. What is up with these words? And self-absorbed. That at times, the convention floor felt like a seance guided by a medium speaking in tongues. Trump is 78 and sleepy. Trump sleepy. Which may have brought the energy level down. Perhaps more centrally, he might be grappling with physical and emotional trauma brought out by by the shooting that he fortunately survived. I'm glad that he survived. There's nothing funny about that. I'm so glad that he survived. Jack Black and then Jack Black's friend from Tenacious D were in Australia on last weekend, and they were making fun of the whole attempt. And I mean, they look real dumb, in my personal opinion. Look real dumb, making a joke of something like that. That's like inciting political violence. That ain't it. I don't like that on either side, but anyway, it's also possible that the speech won't be a pivotal political factor. Still, the entire exercise demonstrated that if you give Trump enough time, he'll remind you of what an utterly unfocused, unsophisticated, and self-indulgent loon he is. That kind of person has proven to be an attractive leader for a significant portion of American voters. Trump may have to be someone other than who he is and what the convention speech suggested if he's serious about being a crossover candidate delivering unity to a fractured America. Man, these words hard hitting and in your face. Shout out to Christopher Green at AMTV. With great humility, I am asking you to be excited about the future of the country. Trump said early in a speech that would eventually clock in at more than 90 minutes. Be excited. Trump did make some early humble gestures, noting that the discord and division in our society will be healed. But the humility eventually waned. Excitement was missing during some of the more tedious and meandering portions of the Trump show. So it was that, man, how long is this article? Dude, it just goes on. Oh my God. It just goes on. It also is a possible speech that would be, unity. It is also possible that the speech could be a pivotal political factor. Still, the entire exercise demonstrated that if you can give Trump enough time, he'll remind you of what an utterly, okay, we already read all that. It's just like, when I didn't watch it. I was like listening to it as I was working and stuff like that. I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was pretty good for like one of his speeches, but obviously for these folks that are wanting like real unity, I mean, look, man, if you already don't like the guy, it's real hard for you to like the guy, and it's real hard for you to get on that already if you're not already on that. That's just my observation of this. Of the whole thing. Now, for his speech and everything, I mean, that's the usual, but I thought it was more heartfelt and more because you're like seeing this individual as like more like a human being. And I don't know, I forgot what that lady from The View, she she had just mentioned something like that, but it was like she was trying to do it. I think it was Whoopi Goldberg stated that the RNC speech and having his family out there and having Kai, his granddaughter, Donald Trump's granddaughter, go out there and talk to folks was just trying to make him a human or seem human, which, I mean, the guy is human. They're like making this guy to be out this like, it's just crazy rhetoric, which is leading us to like not only, you know, him bringing this upon himself in his own way, but you guys are inciting this like rhetoric on him that like he's this person, this and that, which leads to all these crazy people just want to go out there and go, you know, anyway. But just bringing up Whoopi Goldberg, it's just crazy. I don't want to read all this, man. Bloomberg is crazy. Go watch the video. Let me know what you folks think about that, for real, for real. I have 2 other videos. I'm going to save those for tomorrow, folks. I think we're going to do a live tomorrow because I want to see the aftermath. I want to see the aftermath of all of this stuff that has happened in the past week and this breaking news that we have just heard about today about President Joe Biden stepping down from the presidential 2024 race. Wow, crazy times that we are in, folks. Kamala Harris has his endorsement. What is the VP that she is going to get? Is it going to be Pennsylvania's Governor Josh Shapiro? Will it be Governor Arizona Governor I just lost his name. I just lost his name. I gotta look it up. Hold up. Hold up. Or it's not the governor. Arizona rep. Is that Andy Biggs? No. We just had his name. I'm like tripping. Hold up. We just had his name. Oh, these two other topics that we got here are fire. Or we could just go back to X real quick, because that's where we seen it, right? That's where we originally seen it. Josh Shapiro. And it was two other. Oh my God, we have another one. Regardless, there's a Arizona, I think, House rep that there's someone from Arizona that she can use. I totally forgot. I'm like hitting a blank here. Like, we have to go back. The whole point of this is President Joe Biden is stepping down, and Kamala Harris, she has to find a VP. That was the whole point of it. She has to find a VP. So we'll definitely tap in with that. We checked out Van Jones. Van Jones had this heartfelt, it was almost like a goodbye speech. It was crazy. It was heart clenching for sure. Shout out to Van Jones. We checked out the Sergio Pino news. We looked into the CrowdStrike issue with this global outage. And then we checked into the RNC with Donald Trump's speech. Shout out to Corey Comparatori, rest in peace. And then we looked at the Bloomberg article that we have here. We got 2 articles tomorrow, Project 2025, and there's some kind of document that's been released for Jeffrey Epstein, or that guy. Apparently, the Young Turks has a video for that guy, and we're gonna watch that, and I'm gonna go check out this article that I have up here that we're gonna go check out tomorrow. So definitely tap in. I appreciate everybody who slid through for this live stream. This is like one of many that we're gonna be doing here. We're gonna at least try to do 1 or 2 of these live streams of just covering the weekly news, and we're gonna get some articles and stuff like that with some reputable sources, and you're gonna get some of my opinions on that. I would love to hear what you have to say about it. Anyway, drink water, hit the like, share, and the subscribe button. Do your homework. Know who you're going to vote for. All that other good jazz. Spread good love and positivity out there, and I'll see you on the next episode of KIWTB Gaming. Bye.